Hi everyone, following on with our discussion about equivalence, the first thing you need to think about is equivalence of words, the smallest kind of molecule of meaning. How do we talk about equivalence? Now, In Other Words by Mona Baker, Becoming a Translator, Susan Basnett, all these and everything Newmark, they all have a section on equivalence at the word level because it's very important and it really does help you with your freelance translating. So, in particular, Mona Baker I like because she gives you a few examples of strategies that other translators use to deal with the problem of equivalence. One of the strategies she gives is something that I do all the time, where you've got two words that aren't quite the same. For example, let's take this. This is my Kindle, right? Now, some countries they don't really have Kindles, or only westernized people would imagine you're translating to Arabic. You don't see a lot of Kindles in Lebanon or Egypt, do you? Right? So you might want to just translate Kindle as book, unless it's important that it's a Kindle. You know, um, you take a word with a more general meaning than the specific word. So a Kindle is a kind of book, and so we just translate it as book. We go up a layer. It's called a superordinate. Very useful word. If you think about a type of furniture that doesn't have a name in English, you can just go up a level. Well, it's a sort of table. Call it a table. Or you can go up another level. Just call it he took the piece of furniture and put it wherever. Right? So you go up a level to something that the other reader will understand, unless you're damaging the sort of sense of the meaning. Like if we've translated Kindle into book, and then later on it says he had to go and find a place to charge his Kindle, it's not going to make much sense to say charge a book. You could translate it as put the book away neatly or something, but be careful about losing too much meaning. So in that way you can have complex ideas like, say, one example from Mona Baker is orbiting. And I think Italian, orbits, our planet orbits the sun. It just translates it as the word revolves around the sun, or rotates, or something like that, because they don't really have a word for orbit. See, so you just take that idea. What is orbiting? It's a kind of revolving. So let's use the word revolving. Um, and in that way, you can do all kinds of fun things. You can take animals. He looked out and saw the whatever type of crane that you've never heard of. The last thing you want to do when you're reading a technical document is have to Google what the heck is that he's looking at. He saw the what tree? The what tree? Poplar. What kind of tree is that? So you're just saying a tree rather than the specific type of tree. Especially sometimes for me, for Chinese, you get these really cool articles and it will mention some type of grass or something, but there's no English name for that grass, just the Latin root. It doesn't have a common name. So you suddenly have to throw in this really awkward Latin name in italics into what's supposed to be familiar and comfortable. Um, so yeah, going up in meaning, superordinate. The other thing you can do is you can take something culturally equivalent. So in that way, for example, coffee could easily become tea. Why not? You can translate coffee as tea. Um, Quite often when I'm translating something like a wok, oh, wrong way, I translate as frying pan. Yeah, a wok is a kind of frying pan, right? Now, if you were to say in translation from Chinese to English, he was cooking in a frying pan, your English reader might think, well, hang on, this guy's Chinese, lives in China. Chinese people use woks, they don't use frying pans. So why is he using a frying pan? It might suggest that he's a bit westernized or been educated in the West or something. Um, so you have to be careful about how you use it. But if it really doesn't matter to the reader whether it's a wok or a frying pan, and you're just trying to set that image, he was in the kitchen slaving over the wok all morning. That's why he's sweating. The key thing is he's sweating because he's been cooking. Yeah, you can change wok to frying pan, and that way the reader won't feel like they're kind of, whoa, what's that other concept? If you see something you don't know, you kind of end up focusing on that. So then that paragraph, instead of focusing on why I'm sweating, it would seem like it's focusing on what the heck is a wok, as opposed to a frying pan. So yeah, Two techniques: you can go upper level, superordinate meaning, very, very common, really, really, really useful for Chinese. And the other one is you can take something culturally equivalent, coffee for tea, wok for frying pan, and so on. There's a few other techniques, but I don't want to just list stuff other people have put in their books. I would say, as a Chinese to English translator, learning to go upper level is probably your most valuable skill. And you'll find you get really good at describing things. A jar is a kind of storage container. You know, if you ask someone who's not a translator, a wheel is a kind of what. You'll notice that the translator can answer it kind of. We're practice doing that all day, so we're really good. Whereas a non-translator will say a wheel is a kind of wheel. Anyway, all right. So word equivalence very important. There's lots of strategies. Think about it and make sure you get it correct. Thanks.